Let's talk about Scream. This film was directed by Wes Craven, most notably starring Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, and David Arquette, with a runtime of 110 minutes and released in December of 1996. Okay, so this movie follows Sydney. Basically, she had her mother killed a year ago, and her father is out of town, so she's home alone, making her the target of a serial killer in a Halloween costume called Ghostface, who killed two people before. My biggest positive with this film is it's funny and self-aware. You can tell just from like the first 10, 15 minutes alone, like it's gonna be a funny and self-aware film. The first 10 minutes of this film set the entire tone for the rest of it, and it's really good. Now let's talk about this main protagonist out here, Sydney Prescott. She was a really solid protagonist for a horror comedy, and when they took her over the top, sometimes literally in the sex scenes, and just went crazy with her with the horror movie tropes and the cliches. They did that really well, and the humor was well timed, and it really worked. Now, the biggest issue was sometimes they would try to take her seriously, or they actually tried to develop her as a character to the point where you'd want to care for her, but it was never successful in those efforts. And it really took away from the overall tone of this film as a horror comedy, and I feel like they just really wasted that. Now let's talk about this side character with the green shirt in the middle. I tried to find the name for this character, but when I looked it up on IMDb, it just said Party Guy Number 1, so I don't have an exact name. But this dude was my favorite character in this film. All the other characters, or the main characters at least, they really tried to develop them and take them seriously at some points in this film, and it was just a total waste of time, and it never worked. When this guy has the floor, he don't waste your time. He perfectly fits the tone for this film, and he's on point. I love this character. He names out a whole list of rules for surviving a horror movie. He names out blatant horror movie stereotypes, and he's the perfect source of comic relief that this film needed. Now let's talk about the villain we got here, Ghostface. He literally is the perfect villain for perfect killer for a horror film. Like he literally asks people random questions over a phone call before he attempts to kill them. Like, do you like scary movies? Are you home alone? Which door am I coming out of? Or did you check your front porch? And he does it in the most satirical way possible, so you really can't take it seriously, but that's what makes it the perfect source of comedy. And he does that so well. Now, my biggest regret with watching this film was watching it by myself. I really wish I had called up some friends and asked them if they could come over and watch it with me. That would have been a lot better. This is the best film to just watch with a group of friends and to just enjoy the experience and have fun watching it. Because this is not a serious film. This is just a standard horror comedy playing on movie stereotypes and tropes. And it does it in the best way possible, though. I really enjoyed this film overall. It was a really good self-aware horror comedy, and I'm giving it an overall rating of 8 out of 10. As always, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more, and also check out my new blog post. I will link that in the description.